I am so happy. I'm so content. I just need to lay low here and there. Applied to a job. I got an email back. We are going to start looking for apartments I want to pay off that medium-sized credit card. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I'm so excited to be filming. I am so happy. I'm so content. I just feel great right now. I'm currently in Cape Town when I'm filming this. I've been here for like a little over a week. We're gonna be leaving in a few days. I'm really trying not to think about it. I wanted to get this video up before all the Cape Town vlog goes up because it's like at a weird time, like end of July into August that I'm in Cape Town. So I really wanted to get all like the sit down videos done. So the Cape Town vlogs, like we're just boom, 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 and you get them all at once. I don't want there to be like a separation. So if you're sick of the sit downs, sorry, but like I had to get them all up before the vlogs, if that made sense, because I think you would have been annoyed if you like all the vlogs are split up. So bear with me, they're coming. Next vlog will be the pack and prep. That'll be the next video, and then after that are the Cape Town vlogs, a travel day. I think I have 3 videos in Cape Town filmed and then a travel home. That's what I plan on doing, but we'll see. I'm trying to get it together, but if you're new, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Jill. I'm 23, currently living in Colorado for the summer. I work seasonally in hospitality, and I am in Cape Town right now because we have family here. So we are here visiting family. I could cry tears of joy. I'm so happy to be here. I don't want to leave. I can tell you right now, I'm gonna be a miserable bitch when I go back to Colorado. I've warned everybody. I'm like, guys, I'm gonna be fucking miserable when I get back. I just don't want to go back. Welcome to the August reset. Guys, I can't tell if I like these videos or if I hate them. I love talking about goals, my books, like all the things. But for some reason, I don't know. I feel like you like them because whenever I do like a community poll and I'm like, hey, do you guys want to see this reset? You always say yes. I don't know. Comment down below because every month I consider just like not doing it and getting rid of these videos. So let me know what you think, how you feel. If you don't like them, if you do like them and want me to keep going, comment that down below because I'm trying to figure out if I like it or not. If you're new here, the resets are like just me sitting down chatting with the camera with you guys just about how the previous month went. We just do like a recap on like things I did, some highlights, some lowlights. And then we go into like the goal check off, I call it, where we like check off goals if I completed that goal or not. And then we move on to the next month. So like this month would be August. We go over goals that I have for August. We go over my TBR for the month. I generally want to read around 5 or 6 books in a month. So I talk about like books I want to read that I plan on reading. And then we also talk about like my debt update because I'm currently on a debt payoff journey. Yeah, so that's the kind of like the setup. I don't know. I prefer vlogs, and I always notice I do get more people watching like these videos than my vlogs. Like I like to gauge where we're at, what you guys are liking, what you're not liking. So maybe I won't focus so much on that and focus on other things. It depends. So let me know in the comments, okay? Get ready for the Cape Town content because that's coming next. I feel like I've been talking about it all month. It's coming. Let's get into the recap of July. Let's talk about some things like some highlights, some lowlights. I don't have too many lowlights actually, thankfully. I feel like this month I was actually looking for things that I didn't like. Some months like it stands out. Like the lows are like the month, like it stands out. I feel like it was just a pretty solid month overall. I was working quite a bit. We had a big tournament at work, so I was like working overtime a lot. That's difficult when you're working a job that's not like completely your passion. Really, work does take my focus off things I want to do in the everyday life. I feel like which is why the goal is to have a job that you're passionate about. That always gets a little frustrating, especially when I like look at goals and I'm like, okay, why didn't I hit this? And it goes back to, oh, I was working when I could have been doing that. It's very interesting because some people look at that as like, well, work is just how I make money and then I just enjoy my hobbies in the off time. And then some people are like, well, I don't want to be spending the majority of my waking hours doing a job I don't like. So let me know what camp you're in there because I feel like everybody has a different view on it. I don't ever think there's a right or wrong way to look. Everybody's different. Personally, I would like to be doing a job that's more fulfilling, that I truly like enjoy. Obviously, there's highs and lows to everything, but I would prefer the highs to outweigh the lows, if that makes sense. So, but other than that, work was fine. Nothing to like talk about. It's always just like fine. In regards to like hobbies and stuff, I did a lot more reading this month. I picked it back up. I kind of slacked in the last few months, but I picked it back up, which made me feel great. I had a lot of time to read throughout the month, or I made time for it really, and I read some good books. We'll go over those. Workouts, I definitely slacked in. Whenever I have to work more, the first thing to go is my workouts, generally my eating too. I always say this because it's the easiest thing for me to like fall behind on. If it's not money focused, then I don't prioritize as much, and that's really bad. And I do think that's a change I need to make in my life. I think if I'm prioritizing myself more, and having more of like an abundance mindset and less of like a scarcity mindset financially, I think those finances will start to come my way. But if I keep focusing on that and it's not something I actually want to be focusing on, I just don't think that's a good recipe for like success. I think if anything, it's kind of like not. This light is kind of agitating me. I'm just gonna, okay. Sorry about the angle change. We're staying on like a very main busy road, so I'm always hearing yelling and sirens and all the bits. I feel like I don't have too much to say about July. I feel like the majority of July was like focusing on getting ready to travel and to go see family and doing the shopping for it. Hence the sweater. Look guys, update on the sweater. You're gonna see me wear it all the time in the Cape Town vlogs, okay? I love it. It's so warm. It's so cute. I feel like that's a good little recap. Nothing like stood out. You know what I mean? Like nothing was bad necessarily. I feel like I was just working a lot. The thing is, currently I'm working to a point where I think now when I go back, it'll like relax a little bit. I'm getting a better schedule when I go back now from this trip. But I just think that a lot of my days is focused on working. And when that's the case, it's very much like work, eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep. And I don't get to focus on other hobbies as much, and I always have a hard time with that because I feel very off balance personally. I don't get to focus on the workouts. I don't get to, and I'm sure I could find a way. I always say this, I'm sure there's a way. Sure, I could figure it out, but for some reason I just like can't. So I think it might be like my brain just doesn't know how to focus on one thing. It's always bouncing around, and I think that's part of it too. It's like it's too much. So that was the little recap on July. Some months I have like a heavier recap for you. I don't really have much of a recap, which I'm okay with because I feel like it's gonna get busy again in the next few months. I just like have a feeling. I don't know exactly, but I have a feeling. Let's move into the goal check off now. Let's check off some goals, see where we're at, see what we did do, see what we didn't do. Typically lately I've like had a lot of months where I'm hitting less goals than I am actually hitting them, which has been really frustrating. But I feel like in July I tried to set goals that were pretty like attainable but still challenging, because I think that's the point, right? It's like some goals are going to be easier than others, but you still want to accomplish it. Sometimes it's going to be harder to do so. It really just depends. Also, I have decided I'm not going to share content goals in this video. It feels a little like weird. I don't know why. I don't know the right word for it, but I just feel a little like, I don't know. Maybe you guys don't want to be hearing about that. Let me know if you do actually want to hear them, but I'm going to skip them for this video and we'll see. So health and wellness, journal 3 times a week. I did not do this. I think part of it again was that like working so much, but all my focus really was on like working, YouTube, and traveling. I wasn't really focused on my wellness as much this month, which isn't good. That needs to be like standard, and everything else needs to come into place around that. But like at the same time, like I could just pick it back up. I did not hit that goal. I'm okay with it. Continue with the workouts. This is like a half yes. I think some days I did this, other days I didn't. As I said, with the way my work schedule was, it was a bit weird, and I was very focused on YouTube. So if I wasn't working, I was focusing on getting videos uploaded and done. And like I always say, this is like another full-time job. So I slacked on the workouts. Part of me like gets upset about it, but I'm at a point where I'm like, you're gonna pick it up, work's gonna slow down, you're gonna just pick it right back up. It's fine. 6 books. I did this. Let me tell you which ones they were. Different books than I like intended to read, actually. I didn't expect to read any of these books. I don't think any of these were on my TBR last month. I don't think. I have to like look back at that, but very random. Hidden Picture, I rated that a 5 stars. That was like a mystery thriller type read. That was for our book club. So that was my friend's pick. It was so good. Basically, it is about this girl. She becomes a babysitter for this family, and the child is just a little bit strange, and she's just trying to like figure out what's going on. The child is into drawing, draws her pictures, and it just gets a bit stranger as the story goes on. Big plot twist in there. Yeah, I really actually enjoyed that book. That's a book I didn't think I was gonna actually like, but I ended up giving a 5-star. I really did enjoy it. I've seen on TikTok, some people are like all on this book and some people are like fully against it. I don't know, I really liked it. Some people thought it was kind of slow and boring. It is a little slow, but it's still really good. So A Novel Love Story, 5 stars. This is by, I think it's Ashley Poston, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. She's the one that wrote The 7-Year Slip, the one where I talked about this like a while back. I read it at the beginning of the year, where the girl, she goes to stay in her aunt's apartment, and the apartment happens to be like a magical apartment. So she's like going back in time 7 years, hence the 7-Year Slip. Same author, A Novel Love Story. I also read another book by her, and I didn't know this, but she always like puts in a magical element into her book. So A Novel Love Story, it's about this girl who ends up on a road trip by herself. Like her friends couldn't go on this vacation with her. Her book club does like an annual trip every year, but nobody could make it. But she was still gonna go because she's like, well, I love reading. I've been looking forward to this. I'm going. She ends up in the town that her favorite book was based in. So like she knows all the characters. She knows what's gonna happen. Like, very cool. Especially if you like to read, like I feel like for me this is like Throne of Glass. Like if I was transported into, or ACOTAR, oh my god, either one. If I was transported into the world Throne of Glass or of A Court of Thorns and Roses, I would be like stunned, you know, because I would know all the characters, like I would know what's going on, and it was really good. I enjoyed it. It was a nice like summer beach read. So I did read a good mix between mystery, thriller, and romance this month, which is fun. I haven't been reading fantasy in the last few months. I really need to get like physical copies of those books, so I did not read any fantasy, but in the next half of the year I will. And I read The Dead Romantics again by Ashley Poston. As soon as I finish A Novel Love Story, I'm like, I need to finish this next book. I rated it a 4.7. So basically, there's this girl, she's living in New York City, and she is the ghostwriter for a famous author, and she's like having trouble writing her story. She ends up having to go back to her hometown that she like hasn't been to in so many years. Plot twist, she is able to see the dead, like ghosts. In this book, they made it very like just low-key. Like it was just this like, it's as if she was seeing like a person that nobody else could see, like an invisible person. Her new editor that she has to like speak to, because she's this ghostwriter, the new editor that she has to like interact with ends up being a dead person that she has to like talk to. I feel like it's hard to explain, but I feel like you should go read it. I rated it a 4.7. It wasn't like a 5-star, but it was like, it was really good. I enjoyed it. Housemaid is watching. This is the last book in the Housemaid like trilogy. There's now 3 books to it. The first book I liked. I actually predicted it. It reminded me too much of The Last Mrs. Parrish, and that pissed me off. The second book I did not like. I'm the kind of person that needs to finish the books, and this one just came out recently. So I was like, okay, I need to finish The Housemaid is Watching. 4 stars. It wasn't as like creepy as the other books. I feel like it wasn't as like thrillery at all, in my opinion. Yeah, a little odd. It was better than the second one. Not my favorite book of all time. I rated it a 4, like a solid 4. It wasn't a 5-star read by any means, but it was fine. And then I picked the next book for August, but I ended up reading it early because I ran through my books so fast and I didn't know what else to read, so I'm like, I might as well just read this. Okay, this sun keeps moving, so I'm gonna move as the sun moves, okay? Sorry, just like deal. Oh, my clothes are on the bed. I was trying to keep that out of frame. Okay, so like I said, my book club book that I picked for August. So I wanted to do a book that was a different genre than what we've read. We've done fantasy, we've done romance, we've done like a thriller, and I wanted to switch it up to something we haven't done before. So I picked historical fiction. I feel like it's pretty bold, like a bold choice. I don't know. But I picked The Women by Kristen Hanna. It's the same author that wrote my favorite book of the year, or one of my favorite books of the year, The Nightingale. That one is still my favorite, but The Women does come close second. 5-star read. The thing about historical fiction, especially in her writing, is it's not this like completely happy, like fluffy book. It's real, and it's like there's parts that are shitty, like that you don't necessarily want to read. It's kind of sad, but it's so good because it just captures like so many different emotions, also happy emotions, exciting things, love in tough conditions. This one is about these nurses in the Vietnam War. So they all enlisted to become nurses in the Vietnam War, and they were sent to Vietnam. And then that's like half the book, and the other half is like them going through life after the war. So yeah, it's very interesting. I rated it a 5 stars. I really did enjoy it. The last book I read, I don't know why I picked this book, okay? I was on, actually I do know why. I was on TikTok very late at night, and I was like, oh my God, I need books to read on the flight. I need to download books on my Kindle, blah, blah, blah. I'm like looking through TikTok, like, and I've seen so many of the same videos because I'm always looking for book recommendations on TikTok, but I've read so many of the books now. So especially this year, I've read so many of the books that I was like, I don't know what to read. This book popped up, A Love Letter to Whiskey, okay? This book popped up, and I was like, well, okay, why not? It's basically about these two people that are in love, and it's over the course of like a decade or like 12 years or something, and how they can never seem to get their timing right and never seem to fit. They're like best friends, and they have been like for years. I read 5-year anniversary edition, I think, where the first original book was only from the girl's perspective, okay? And she's like writing this love letter so he will understand. So basically she wrote about the last decade from her point of view, and that's what we are reading, okay? Then the second part, like the 5th-year edition side, is his recap. They're pretty similar. I felt like I was reading a lot of the same details over and over, but I think it was pretty good overall. I think that I would have liked like a back and forth point of view in this situation, but because I did read the 5-year edition, I feel like it's unfair for me to say that because the original book was just from her point of view, and it was really good. So I enjoyed it. A little bit of spice in there, just so we know. Yeah, I thought it was good. I rated it a 4. I thought it was good. Let's get back to the goals. Run a 5K. No, I said in the July reset, mark my words, I'm gonna do this. Run a 5K. Guys, I'm running a fucking 5K this month. I need to. Before we leave for Cape Town, I will have run a 5K. Mark my words. And if I don't, this is really all. What happened, guys? It happened again 2 times. What happened? I worked when the other 5K that I was like planning to run was gonna happen. So we're just gonna skip this, okay? This goal for a bit, because I'm just like getting annoyed with myself, and we're rotating again. The sun is moving quick. Oh, the bathroom door is open behind me. Whatever, I don't care. And the last goal was to go for a hike. I did this. It's really funny because I planned this goal for Colorado, like go for a hike in the mountains in Colorado. I hiked Lion's Head in Cape Town, okay? I did not hike until the last week of July, and it was when we got to Cape Town. I went for a hike. I didn't specify that it had to be in Colorado, so. Moving on to miscellaneous goals, explore more places in Colorado. No, I got too caught up with work and I was tired, so no. Plan detailed Cape Town trip. I definitely did this. We've been doing a lot since being here. Apply to 2 new jobs. So I checked this one off. However, I only applied to 1 job, and I spoke about it in a vlog I think the last vlog actually, where I applied to a job, I got an email back, and this is more of like a permanent full-time position. So update on that, we're gonna have a conversation closer to August and September because I wouldn't be starting till later this year if we do go there. I kind of put the eggs all in one basket here. I have not applied for other jobs. I said 2 jobs so I would have a backup plan, but I decided to bet on myself because this felt like the best thing. And if it's not, then I will learn quickly and I will just find something else. But I decided to bet on myself and just say, okay, you're either going to, here are the options, apply for a permanent full-time position somewhere and I like live there full-time instead of working seasonally, and apply for a seasonal job just in case you don't get the full-time job. Those are my options, and I could have applied for both, but I just said, you know what, I'm over seasonal. I'm gonna like bet on myself and that I am capable of working full-time somewhere and committing to that and growing in a new job. So we'll see. I'll keep you updated throughout the next month or two. That's probably when I'll get some updates on that. It sounds like kind of far out because you're like, ooh, like a couple of months. When you do work in places that are seasonal, you do kind of have communication over a few months. You talk about things like pretty far in advance. It just depends on, like, this place is also more seasonal, but they hire full time, if that makes sense. And plan date nights every week, one cost, one free. I think for the most part I did this. It was kind of hard again with work, but for the most part we did this. We did go out a few times. We stayed in. Sometimes we had some movie nights at home. I love nights like that because we don't get to do that often. Last category, financial. Pay minimums on cards. Yeah, this budget for after Cape Town. I haven't done that yet. I don't know. It's hard to do that, I think, until I'm like back in Colorado. I feel so far away from it right now, really, and I just am like, I know I have to do it at some point and just get in order like what I want to be focusing on financially and like where my money's gonna be going. But I'm gonna do that when I get back. $200 budget for shopping. Yeah, I did this. I think I spent more than $200, but that was in place because I was gonna like make sure I did buy some things for myself because I've been so like anti-spend money. I like force myself to spend at least $200, which is shocking. And then $500 spending in Cape Town. Yes, that is set aside. Guys, I don't think we've even spent near that, and we've like been eating and drinking and like going out, and I don't even think I've hit the max yet on that budget, like the 500, which is awesome. So those are the July checkoffs. I feel like we did pretty good. Like looking at this all together, I see a lot of blue checks, and I like to see the blue checks. I always say I'm not gonna get all blue checks. Not always, but the goal is to try. August goals, I'm gonna run through these quick. Health and wellness, read 6 books. I would like to read 6 books again. Going back to Colorado, I'm gonna be very like low-key, lay low, homebody. I wanna get back into working out, but I was like going hard for a while, and I was going like 5 days a week, and I was like really going full throttle. Workout 3 times a week. I just want to get myself back into it again. Workout 3 times a week, and then in addition to that, 3 runs per week. 2 longer runs and a shorter run, something like that. And if I end up feeling for more, I'll do it. But I just need to get back into the routines of that. And now that my work schedule is going to be slowing down when I get back, I think I'll have more time for that. Go for a Colorado hike. I have made that clear. And this goal, I want to start exploring Colorado more. I'll go back because, as I said to you before, everything up until this point was focused on just like staying afloat and Cape Town. So now that we're like going back, we can really focus on exploring the state that we're living in because we won't be there much longer. 1 self-care night a week. I'm really bad at focusing on self-care. If I'm not working, I try to work out or work on YouTube. I just need to lay low here and there. After being here and just like enjoying myself, I want to start crying. I don't want to leave. I love Cape Town. I don't want to leave. I'm realizing how important it is to just like take some time to just be, and it's okay. It's intentional time to just like relax, and it ends up being better in the long run for my productivity. So I put that down to like really focus on it. So 4 days of the whole month, I need to just lay low. Whether that's like one of my days off or a night after work, something. I need that. Journal 3 times a week. We're getting back into it this month. I didn't really do that, like I said, this past month because I was just a bit all over the place, but we're getting back into it. And guys, I'm gonna run a 5K. That goal is gonna be on there until I run it. Okay. Miscellaneous, plan apartment hunting trip. So we are gonna start looking for apartments in the place that the full-time job is gonna be in. I'm pretty sure we have the jobs, but you know, you never know until you're actually starting. But we need to find an apartment to live in like full-time, not just in staff housing anymore. So we're gonna go on a trip to the place because it's not in driving distance to Colorado, and go apartment hunting. So we're gonna schedule like a weekend to like fly to the place and like get everything in order. Plan friend trip. I'll want to do like a trip to each other this summer. I'm still gonna try to plan this. I just like really need to focus on it. I just haven't. But if we do go, it'll be like end of August, very early September. We'll see. It'll probably just be like a long weekend. It's just hard to get everybody's schedules aligned. And then travel new places in Colorado. I already talked about this earlier. Last category, financial, payoff, Discover card. Now that I'm done with Cape Town money stuff, I need to focus full throttle on the debt payoff. I want to pay off one of my credit cards. I have 2 credit cards, my medium-sized credit card and my large credit card. The medium credit card, I'll give you a debt update after. I want to pay off that medium-sized credit card ASAP, and I would like to do it in the month of August, and then September and October can be focused on that big credit card. We'll see. I just went to look at the credit card, and I think it might be August into September that I'm gonna need, because I'm not making enough right now in Colorado, which is really annoying. Save $300. This is random, but when I posted my $9,000 debt update, mid-year update video, a lot of you guys were commenting being like, Jill, you need to have like a little bit of savings on the side, like you never know, just in case. So I'm putting this down. I'm not prioritizing it too much, whether you guys agree or disagree or not. We all are doing things differently, but I want to put like a little aside just in case. Financial plan for apartment/next move, get expenses in order. I need to see how much everything's gonna cost. If we're road tripping again with our cars, what is that gonna look like? If I need to pay a deposit on the new apartment, like I just need to get all that in order. So I want to work on that through this month and just kind of get a spreadsheet going of how much everything's gonna cost and how I can budget for it and plan for that. Sign a job contract. We did say we'd have a conversation end of August into early September. We'll see. I'll keep you updated on it. But yes, so those are the August goals, and then I have my like content goals, but I'm gonna keep those to myself this time around. But let's talk about my TBR for August. I want to read 6 books. I already have like 2 that I like know I'm reading that I'll read in the next like week. They're like standalone books. The Paradise Problem, I've already started that one. I have no idea what it's about. And 1,000 Broken Pieces. It's the second book in the 1,000 Boy Kisses like duo. It just came out. Guys, that book, 1,000 Boy Kisses, I sobbed. I talk about this if you've been like listening to any of the book videos I've been talking about. I sobbed to that book, so I want to read the second one. Guys, I feel like I have to read this, but I need to read Magnolia Parks. I've been talking about it for months now. I need to read it. It's just one I've been wanting to read, and that's 4 books, I think. 4 or 5. And I'm like, I just need to read it. I just haven't been fantasy/series focused in a while. I just gave myself a big break because I was like doing a lot of that from the end of last year into the beginning of this year. So I was like giving myself a bit of a break, but I think it's time to pick it back up. And also on the TBR, we'll see, is the Powerless books. I think a 3rd one's coming out next year, but I know there's 2 out already. So those are the books I want to read. Not much to share on them. I feel like most of these I have spoken about before. I have spoken about wanting to read Magnolia Parks, and I have spoken about wanting to read Powerless. So you don't have too much to say on that. I love reading, so I'm looking forward to it. And then the last part of this video is just like my debt update, my thoughts going into this next chapter. I feel like the next chapter of the debt payoff is really going to be like head down focus and just be like mindful of the spending and budgeting and just like really getting into it. My debt hasn't changed really, not much. It's still the same as the mid-year update. I haven't really had to use my credit cards for anything, I don't think, which is good obviously, and I'm just like ready to pay it off. I've spoken about this before. It's at a point where like the big one is still big and the medium one is just like there now, and it was I had paid it off and now it's back, the whole thing, and I hate it and it's making me stressed out. So I just want it all gone. So I'm really looking forward to like spending this next month focused on my debt payoff, because for me it is something that's really important. So looking forward to focusing on that and just giving some solid updates again. I knew for a few months I was going to be on hold, but I didn't realize like the emotional, how I'd be feeling. Like I'd be so kind of like stressed about it. Like I didn't realize it was going to bother me so much that it's there. I just want it gone. It makes me feel like, I don't know, I'm really annoyed and I just want it gone. And that's really all I have to say about it. Like I just want it gone. But I am looking forward to like spending the month paying it off and just working towards these next goals, because I have some really big goals I want to hit coming into next year, and I think that if I can get a head start on that towards the end of the year and like really be like pushing to pay my things off, then it'll just be a smoother transition going into like having debt to not having debt, because that's the goal, is to like not have any debt and to focus on new financial goals, like with my savings and with buying property and building an emergency fund and just like kind of starting to invest. And like that is the next step after paying off this debt. So I think like I don't know. I feel like I'm like locked behind a door and I'm like trying to like open this fucking door and it's like stuck. But I feel like once the debt is gone, I'll be able to open the door and step into this like new chapter and new phase of my life. And I'm just like, guys, I'm ready. I've had the key to this door and I'm trying to open the goddamn door. So yeah, I think that is it. The sun is really annoying me. I am going to end this video here. Thank you all for watching. If you are new, definitely subscribe. Let me know if you're liking these videos. I don't know. Let me know. But I love you all. I'm going to get going because we have a day to spend with the family and I do not want to hold this up. So I will see you in the Cape Town vlogs. Yeah, I'm so excited.